Welcome back everybody to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for updates and check out all the other videos. Do a lot of different diverse videos on really cool things, 3D printing, outdoor stuff, laser stuff now. Anyway, hit subscribe if you would, appreciate it. So today I show you how to mount a coin jig, create a template, and center it using LightBurn. So if you're new to the lasering hobby or business, then this is probably going to help you out. So these coin jigs are made for holding 40mm coins. I've got different types here, as you can see, and the links are down below in the description. Using these, you can make a repeatable template that will exponentially increase your efficiency and save tons of time. And if you're a regular to the channel, you know that I print 3D print items, including laser jigs, and sell them. Got some projects going on right now. So I've also got some Prusa videos if you're into 3D printing. So previously, I only used 3D printed jigs, but they would eventually melt with the coins. And the wood jigs, I've tried those too, but they eventually wear out. You cannot compete with the accuracy and tolerance of these made out of metal. So that's why I go with strictly these jigs now. The jigs are solid steel, last a lifetime, won't melt, and are sold in our shop. As I said earlier, the links are below in the description. I also sell PMAG jigs, bottle opener jigs, and many other laser related items. Here's the PMAG jig set for both sides. Check it out, links below. So as you can see, I've got these as a single, a double, and a quad jig. So depending on if you make one-offs as a hobby or you're taking orders from customers, these will be a worthwhile tool. So enough with the sales pitch. I designed these for precise marking and engraving of 40mm coins. The tolerances are within about 1/4 of a millimeter for high quality coins, or less for the cheaper cast versions that you can find on Amazon. And these are usually a little slightly smaller than 40mm, but the higher quality coins, they usually are right at 40. So that's the difference, but either one works, and they work well. So the main reason I made this video is that a few of my customers didn't know how to center the jig on their laser bed once they got it to their location. And the answer, of course, is that you don't center the jig, you center the template. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Now I realize that for some of you, this video is not useful because you've been doing this for a while. So if that's the case, this may not help you, but if not, then you should keep watching, and I might be able to teach you something. Anytime you use a template with a jig to reproduce your designs, you have to initially position it using the laser software. You cannot just bolt the jig to your bed and have it ready. The laser's beds aren't built with the bolts perfectly aligned to your laser's beam, or your laser's beam. So here today I'll walk you through the process of placing the jig and setting up the template in LightBurn. First of all, you want to turn on your laser, and in this case I've got a fiber laser set up. It's a 50-watt JPT. But if you've got a bed with bolts in it, it's the same, basically the same idea here. So as you can see here, I've placed the jig as close to the center as possible with reference to the laser. So here you can see that I've got LightBurn opened up. And the first thing we're going to do is make a 40mm circle using the tool function. So we're going to go ahead and click on the create ellipse, which is a circle. And we'll go close to the center and we'll just drag this thing out. And we need to assign that as a tool, not as an engraving. So there we've got the tool T1 selected, which changed it just to an outline, and you can see that it says tool up here. All right, now we want to change this size to 40mm. So I type in 40, hit enter, and then if you drug your circle out and it wasn't even, say it was like 51 by 25, you can hit the unlock here and then type them in individually and then relock it again. And that'll keep it exactly 40 millimeters. You can see right now this thing is not centered on the bed. So let's go back up to the selection tool, click on that, and automatically your circle is centered. I'm going to go ahead and just drag it close. And then we're going to go up to the centering tool up here, which will allow you to select Move to Page Center. And that puts it precisely right on the center of the bed. But that is not where the jig is. Now, one thing to note, since the bed bolts are not aligned to your laser head, you'll have to use the X and Y coordinates to move your circle coin template to match the jig on the bed of the laser. And that is right up here. X, if I can get the mouse up there, X and Y. The X axis, if you don't already know this, I know a lot of you already know these things, is from left to right, and you can see the numbers get bigger. And then the Y axis is from bottom to top, and they get bigger there. In this case, I'm using a 300 millimeter lens, but I also have 150, 70 millimeter, and then a different laser up here, which we're not going to talk about. So usually I do coins with 150, but I'm using the 300 for an example today. Does not matter, it's the same process. So let's see where this tool path hits on the laser. So we click on frame right there, and I'm going to go contour. We'll go back over to the laser and see where it hits. Okay, so turn off this light here. You can see, so up is higher numbers in Y axis, and to the right is higher numbers in the X axis. So you can see that our tool path has to go to the right. So we're going to make X bigger to move this to the right to better center up. And I'm guessing, eyeballing, it just looks like about 5 millimeters maybe, so we'll try that. Okay, so we're going to close out the framing, and we're going to go up here. We still have the tool path or marker selected. We're going to go up to X, and we're going to type in 155, which will move it to the right, and hit enter. And so now you can see this is over 5 millimeters, and we're going to hit frame again and see where it lights up on the bed. Okay, so that's a little better. To me, it looks like we need to go to the left about 1 millimeter, just looking at the jig. And as far as up and down goes, I can kind of see, looks like the laser needs to go down. So we're gonna go left 1 millimeter and down about 2 millimeters. All right, so we just keep doing this until we get it right. So go back up here, and we said we're going to go left 1 millimeter, so we go 154, which moves this to the left. And then the Y, we're going to go down, I think I said, like 2 millimeters, so 2 clicks. All right, and then we're going to back to frame again. And let's see. Okay, so I went down too far. I've got a little gap. Grab my pointer tool here. I got a gap up here of about 1.5 millimeters roughly, and you'll end up figuring out how to eyeball these things with more experience. So we're a little bit too low, so we're going to go up, which is going to mean we're going to add 1 millimeter to the Y, and the X is pretty close. It's not quite exact. Let's turn off the light, see if I can show you a little bit better. Kind of go around here. So yeah, you can see it's too low. We'll put a coin in here next to get a really good handle on the centering right now. All right, so close the framing, and Y is, sorry, I'm kind of shaky. With my phone, I don't have a professional YouTube camera. We're gonna go up one. So click up one on the Y. I'm gonna go back to frame. This time we're gonna put a coin in so we can see better. All right, so I got two types of coins. I'm just gonna use the best one, which is from Heavy Metal Blanks on Etsy. Put a link down there below for you. These are solid, machined, really nice. This one actually came a little bit scratched up, but I can do a deep engraving on that. These from Amazon are about half the price, but you can see there's some kind of funny looking, almost looks like a cast surface, but they do polish up. So if you engrave through the cast surface, they'll get good. These are nice for doing the black marking. With that textured surface, they mark up really well with black, and they show real well. But if you're doing a deep engrave, I recommend doing the better, more expensive blanks. They're about $5 or $6 right now. So let me show you the tolerances on this coin with the blanks or the jig. You can see this thing does not move much at all. Maybe a 1/4 millimeter at the most. It's really tight tolerance, and as the coin heats up, it's going to get even tighter. But I made these grooves here so you could easily pull the coin out and get a handle on it. So back to what we're doing here. Let's turn off this light. Okay, there we go. So now you can see that on the left here, we're just kind of, I would say that this thing is over to the left about a 1/2 millimeter. So we want to go down a 1/2 on the x-axis. And to me, the Y looks perfect. So let's turn the light back on. No, I'd say Y down maybe a 1/2 millimeter. So down and left a 1/2 millimeter. I mean, you can really get fussy with these things and get it perfectly exact. So down a 1/2, that's, left a 1/2, which is going to be 153.5. And then we're going to go down a 1/2, so 148.5. All right, now let's reframe it and see what happens. It's really hard for me to show you this on the with the video. It looks like we should have gone to the right on the X. So I'm going to go back and adjust that 1 millimeter. All right, went right. That looks almost perfect. I don't know if you'd be able to even tell the difference. So that looks good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Generally, I can usually see if things are off from a 1/4 to a 1/2 millimeter with my eyes. I wear glasses too, so getting up there in age. Anyway, so once we've got a happy centered tool path here, we can click up here on File, Save As, and I've actually already saved this, but let me show you what I saved it under. Coins is the folder that I made, and then I typed in 40 millimeter coin template. All right, did this yesterday, already have it done, but you can save it, click Save, and then you'll have that template. Let me open the one up I did yesterday. There we go. Okay, so that's the one I did yesterday. And yeah, it's at 154.5 and 148.5. That's what I ended up with. Your laser is going to be different. They're all different. None of them are the same exact. So how do you use this? Well, the next time you go to do a coin, you throw your jig on there exactly where it was before. So here's what I did. I took a black marker and I marked the edges of this jig, because I do quite a few coins. And that way I know exactly where I'm going to put that jig every time. So you got your jig in there. It's where it was before. You've opened up your 40 millimeter coin template file, And now you're going to take whatever design it is that you want to make, and you're going to import. Click import right here. It's going to open up where you keep your artwork stored. I like to use SVG files. Those are typically the best ones that I've found that work well. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And actually, I didn't want the colored one because I'm not doing different burns. It's going to be just one with a certain setting for these brass coins. So you can see this is too big. It is 211 millimeters. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, type in 39 millimeters, and that'll put that thing just small enough to go inside that circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit shift, and so the image is already selected. So we're going to hold shift on the keyboard, and then we're going to hover over the tool outline and click on that. So now we've selected both. It's important to do the sequence to get one to align with the other. So hit the artwork first and then the tool, and then go up here on center and click it. Okay, so now you can see that they're both aligned. The artwork is aligned in the center of the tool template that we made. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the template framing here, deselect those, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit frame, and let's see where it hits on the coin. It's kind of hard to video this sort of stuff with the light and everything, but that's looks like that's going to work. Alright, so I noticed with these more expensive coin blanks, they've got a little bit larger rim here. Some of your coin blanks aren't going to have a rim at all, but compared to the cheaper one, they are a little bit bigger, so I had to reduce the size of the artwork down to about 37 millimeters to fit inside this rim. So that's what I did, and you can kind of see the outline is exactly in the center, so it's going to burn really nicely in the center. You can even go a little bit smaller if you're afraid you're going to hit, the edge of this rim or whatever. You can make it even smaller, like 36.5 or 36. But you just have to play with these things and practice, and expect to spend a little bit of money on coin blanks before you get it down. All right, so that's pretty much it. Time is money. You just engrave your coin, save the file as some other name, and you'll be able to accurately reproduce your marking over and over again, consistently and quickly. These jigs have bolt spacings of 50 millimeters from center to center, and so be sure to measure your laser bed's bolt spacing. If yours is 25, 50, or 12.5 millimeters, these will work. By now you should have a caliper to measure all this stuff. And anyway, one other thing is the artwork here that you're seeing. This is stuff that I've bought on Etsy or paid somebody for and paid for the license to use. This is not my original artwork, but these are the coins that I engraved. Here's a deep engraving. Just some examples. So please subscribe and hit the like button, and if you want a coin jig that's precise and will last forever, please buy them below in the description. PMEG jigs are also on our site as well.